So the day has come, a day many of us thought may never come, at least realistically not for a while. Yes, Samus is back, Metroid is back. No, not that. Real Metroid is back. Samus Returns has brought our favorite sci-fi bounty hunter out of whatever dungeon Nintendo has been keeping her in over the past few years, and the reception has been fantastic. Samus Returns is a quality title, and hopefully, good God, fingers crossed, it'll be a hit. Now, before I get further into it, let me address the elephant in the room that has surrounded this title since its announcement. AM2R was a fan-made remake of Metroid 2, and to the surprise of no one, was hit with a cease and desist by the Big N. Now, I'll admit, I actually liked the look of this game better. I prefer the sprites over the 2.5D style, but as I state with all of these fan game takedowns, it's Nintendo's franchise at the end of the day. It's in their full right to take these games down, especially in a case like this. Of course, they don't want someone using their IP giving away a Metroid 2 remake for free when they're going to be trying to sell their own on the 3DS. It would be stupid for them to let that go, in my opinion, honestly. Long story short, make games inspired by your favorite games, like Shovel Knight. If you're going to straight up lift a franchise like this, I'm not going to feel sorry for you when it gets taken down. Just quickly wanted to address that situation. But yes, Samus Returns is a great reason to get people like me to dust off their 3DSs, but it goes way beyond that. I've made no question about it that I was honestly in fear that Samus was on her way to becoming the next Captain Falcon. By that I mean becoming more recognizable as a Smash Brothers character rather than the star of her own franchise. I mean, until now, we haven't seen a true Metroid entry since 2010. And don't even get me started on Damsel in Distress Samus. This is supposed to be a happy day, mind you. I don't want to dwell on how Team Ninja seemingly went out of their way to make the character look like a pathetic weakling. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, if you want to keep it in terms of Metroid games that were actually good, we'd have to go back to Prime 3 back in 2007. So about a decade since the last Metroid game that was of any quality. And that's why I'm desperate for this game to do well. Granted, we know that we have Prime 4 en route, but Nintendo has already proven that they have no problem shelving Samus for a long period of time. I'd even go as far to say I encourage people to even buy the Amiibo, if you're a fan, of course, which I never advocate for Amiibo, even though I buy them myself. You know, quick tangent, that's really why I hate Amiibo. Normally, with things I don't agree with in the gaming industry, I can blame others for supporting them. And with Amiibo, I don't like the way a lot of features are locked behind them. But I buy all these damn things, so I can't even rage at you guys being like, oh, you idiots buy all this stuff, so they keep making it. With the Amiibo, I'm one of the idiots. Like, some of this stuff in the game I think is cool. The fusion suit, I guess you could have put that with an Amiibo, but locking things like art galleries and sound tests behind Amiibo, come on. These things should be just stupid little fun unlocks that anyone can get. I like them because I'm a Nintendo fan. I think they look cool, and yeah, it helps that they have so many uses typically in so many games. When you're buying a lot of Nintendo games again like me, you definitely get your value out of them. But certainly I have problems with some of their uses, and above all, I honestly feel like all game content should be accessible, at least for all users, without any of these physical things. Like, I truly believe, like the fusion suit thing, if I was in charge of the way all this stuff works, I would say, oh, well, you know, whatever Amiibo unlocks the fusion suit, it's like, if you have that Amiibo, okay, well, you know, you're able to just tap it and unlock it. But, you know, people who don't want to buy the fusion suit stuff and the mode that comes with it, they can buy it as just a separate DLC for like $2 or $3. Because that way you'd still end up getting a lot more value out of the Amiibo. Like, yeah, it costs more, but you'd be using them in all these different games. So I think it would balance out that way. I just don't like the idea of forcing people to buy these physical items for digital content. I can't really say anything because I'm part of the problem. I buy the hell out of them. And they are cool, these Metroid ones. The squishy Metroid Amiibo is easily my favorite Amiibo to date. But enough about the dumb Happy Meal toys. The game. Obviously, a Metroid remake. This is quite literally classic Metroid for the cliche review type stuff, controls are tight. Granted, I feel like they took some getting used to, for me at least. I really hate anytime I gotta use the L and R buttons on the 3DS. Just does not feel good to me. So I still have some issues with that. But you're getting that pure Metroidvania gameplay. Animations are nice. I don't want to sound too negative on the visuals. Sure, I prefer the sprites over the 2.5D, but it's done well, so whatever. And after so long without a proper Metroid game, especially an old school side-scroller like this, I cannot stress how awesome it is to have our girl back. Obviously, if you're a fan of the series, it's a no-brainer to pick it up, but I want to emphasize how much I'd like to see people who aren't familiar with the series get on board. With the franchise being dormant for so long, I'm sure there's plenty of people who've grown up playing games without any exposure to Metroid. A travesty, to be sure, and I'd love for the trend of Metroid love to continue. I've been saying for a while, the Switch is the hot system right now. I get that they wanted to do this with the 3DS. It has, you know, the bigger install base. But let's get a frickin' Metroid Prime Trilogy HD collection on here or something. I mean, come on, we've got Doom coming to the Switch now. So, Doom Guy is going to be the system's designated space soldier. Nintendo, that can't stand. We need Samus on there ASAP to show these kids what's up. And I really just want to see them pull out all the stops to pump up the hype for Metroid Prime 4. Sure, Samus Returns is definitely going to help that, but I think we need to go further. I think a Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch would be a great follow-up to this, and again, fill that gap between now and Metroid Prime 4. I don't see any negatives on that. It should happen. So to close, yes, the game is awesome. No surprise. I'm sure a lot of the fans are going to support it, but I hope people who aren't as familiar with the series will take the chance on it. I mean, don't take my word for it. It's got plenty of positive reviews. As I stated in my past video when this and Prime 4 were announced, it's up to us. It's up to us, the consumers, to show Nintendo that there is money to be made in Metroid. Samus has returned home. We missed her. And I hope this time she's here to stay. And with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on Samus Returns in the comments. As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.